Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand. Welcome to Rebecca Brand Recipes. This is a show of individual cooking segments, and every segment covers a full recipe. During this show, I'm going to show you how to make pizza and lots of different ways to top your pizza. So if you see something you like, at the end of the show, I'm going to show you how to go get those recipes so you can try them at home. Let's roll them out. Brand, and today we're going to make pepperoni pizza by scratch. I have figured out a way to make this pizza really inexpensive. The ingredients for this dish is sugar, dry active yeast, warm water, salt, olive oil, flour, mozzarella cheese, and our star, pepperoni. So the first thing when you're making a pizza is you turn on your oven. Mine is set at 425. Let's get started getting our yeast to rise. I take 2 teaspoons of dry active yeast. So I save money on my dry active yeast by buying it at the big warehouse stores. Now I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of sugar because this recipe has a little bit sweeter dough, which I like. And now 1 cup of warm water. It is so warm, it's almost going to burn me. But let me talk about that. This is going to cool down as soon as I pour it onto my yeast. The perfect temperature is 110 degrees. And so by the time it gets to the yeast, it has cooled down. Now that and the sugar are going to unite. And that yeast is going to be so happy eating the sugar. It's going to grow, it's going to froth and foam. It'll take 10 minutes to get really frothy. It's been exactly 10 minutes. And my foam looks great. Now we're going to add 1½ teaspoon salt and 1 tablespoon oil. Now stir that up. My secret for the easiest dough to mix by hand is by doing it cupful by cupful. So there's the first cup, and I just blend that together until it's smooth. We are ready for our second cup of flour. Okay, let's stir that in. Now you keep mixing and incorporating that second cup of flour really well. It'll start getting a little sticky, and that's fine. So bring it in from around the size of the bowl. Here we go. Now you're ready for your third cup. One of the ways I save money is I buy flour in the 25-pound bags at the warehouse store. So for the third cup, I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. It's going to get a little hard to mix, but that's okay. You keep it with your spoon. It's really sticky inside that dough. It is not ready yet to work with your hands, unless you want to get your hands really messy. Now at this point, it's hard to mix it with my spoon, so I will use my hands. And that only has about 2½ cups of flour in it. So let's do by hand now. So a little bit more. And go like this. That's the easiest way. Just pull up that dough and flop it back down as you put that in. What you're doing is you're creating a surface area for that dough without getting your hands too sticky. See, I just press it down, put a little flour in, press it into the mix, and just do that fast. Now this dough, making this, my goodness, only took me maybe 2 minutes. Isn't that great? So there's the rest of my third cup. I'm going to punch it down with my hands and just keep doing that same method there. Wow, that's great. Now, make it into a ball, and then you're going to put it in your bowl. So you just cover that with plastic, and you're going to let it rest for an hour and rise. So while the dough is rising, I'm going to make my special pizza sauce. It is so easy. It is 1 can of tomato paste. Now, if you don't have tomato paste or you don't want to bother with this, doesn't matter. You just go ahead and use tomato sauce right out of a can. We add 1 cup of water, but we go slowly because it's going to make a big mess if you don't. Next we add 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. Fresh is always better, but this is a very economic recipe. And these ingredients, bought in bulk, do not cost much money at all. It's been an hour and that dough has risen. Beautiful, wow. All right, I'm gonna take a big handful of that dough. So we want to make it kind of a circle, to put on our pizza board. So I just kind of grab the edges and it just kind of stretches out on its own, and that's a good start. Put some flour on our board. Kind of get your round shape. Now we want a little bit of flour on our rolling pin. For home kitchens, I just find that rolling is the best way to go. It is really hard to toss it without a whole lot of experience. Some say this takes the bubbles out and you lose a little bit of the lightness of your pizza dough, but you know what? I am so fine for speed, efficiency to do it this way. Don't be afraid to roll it hard. I want to get it round, so I'm going to pull it up in the air and stretch it a little bit. It looks a little bit like Texas, but my mom is from Texas, so that's good with me. I'm putting cornmeal on my pizza paddle, so it just rolls off into the oven. They work like ball bearings. Transfer. Okay, that worked fine. Yay! Let's top it. I put on my sauce really thick. I love extra sauce on my pizza. That's probably about a quarter cup of sauce. Now for the cheese. I buy this at those warehouse stores and I've got it down to $1 a cup. This cheese is about half price of what you get at the grocery store if you buy it in 5-pound quantities. I've done the math. Now it's time for the pepperoni. I put it on right next to each other because these guys are going to shrink up. Okay, let's take it and put it in the oven. So I'm going to sprinkle my ball bearings on it. Ooh, it's smoking hot. And there goes my pizza. That's going to go in the oven for 11 minutes. It's pizza time. Let's check it. Wow, it looks great. Let's check the bottom of that. Look at that. That's the color I want. There we go. Time to taste it. I'm going to get myself a really big piece. It looks so good. How yummy. Oh my gosh. That's delicious. One great cheesy pizza. And that pepperoni, love it. So subscribe to my channel and let's make a lot more pizzas together. And everything else, delicious. And today we're going to talk about pizza stones. I love pizza stones because they give my crust a lot of crunch to it. So I've always used them. In fact, I've had these pizza stones for 20 years. And let me tell you, you can tell, can't you? I've been doing some research because I don't like spending $20 or $40 for pizza stones. I tried to figure out what is that thing made of and why is it so expensive? Well, let me tell you, if you don't care about it being in a circle, then you can get them really cheap. You go to your large home improvement stores. If you go to your little tile stores, they're not going to give them to you unglazed. You don't want them glazed. What they are simple porcelain or clay tiles. These are used for inside of pizza ovens, or they can be used as satilla pavers for household floors, but I like them the thinner. You can get them thicker too for pavers for your outside garden, but these thin ones are lighter to use and they heat up faster. So this is what you look for. These are 12 inches. Now this is about the size of a personal pizza stone. Check that out. The personal pizza stone is just a little bit bigger, but these are only $1, so I love it. I wanted one of these that was 16 by 16. Well, they didn't have it at my large home improvement store. So instead of the satilla paver, I got a travertine piece This is like a rock. It's like from a quarry in Italy. And this was only $3. Can you imagine? So this beautiful rock, which is porous, like our tile, is gonna go in my oven. And I'm gonna show you how now. The first thing that we do is we're gonna wash it. This travertine has come from a rock quarry in Italy, and it's got some dust on it, so I'm just gonna wash it off real fast. That is done. This one is an unglazed porcelain. I walked in and he gave this one to me for free. That was a good deal. The next one is lighter than the porcelain. This is a Satia paper. It is just made from the same material as bricks. They're typically made in Mexico. And it's just clay earth that they've processed down and flattened. I'm happy with this one. I love these. They are lightweight and they're going to carry a lot of air into the crust of my pizza. Okay, now stick them in your oven. Now, the size of my oven only takes one 12-inch tile. So I'm going to put one in the bottom. The porcelain one is going to go in the center. And the travertine is going to go on top. It's heavy. But so is my pizza stone, so same difference there. So the perfect temperature for my oven to preheat my pizza stones and cook my pizza for that 11 minutes turned out to be 425. I had tried it at 400 and 450, and 425 is a magic number. So that's what I'm going to preheat my oven on today. Now, those pizza stones have to heat up at least 1 hour. So I'm going to come back and show you finished pizzas and what they look like on all three of those materials: the travertine, the porcelain, and the clay tile. So stick with me. It's pizza time. Let's check it. Wow, it looks great. Let's check the bottom of that. Beautiful. Look at that. That's the color I want. There we go. Porcelain. There we go. Porcelain looks good. And here's the Satia paper. Let's check the bottom. Oh my gosh, that is a great color of toasty brown. Let's check the Satia paper. That's beautiful too. There you go. So for $1, $2, and the $3 travertine, we have ourselves a brick oven for our pizzas. Voila, let's eat. I'm gonna get myself a really big piece. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. The verdict is in. That travertine tile makes a great pizza, and I'm sure those other ones did too. Subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna give you a lot more tips on cooking, as well as great recipes. Delicious. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand. Let's make pizza. I want my oven preheated to 450 degrees. So that's gonna start. I'm gonna put my pizza stone in. So before we put the sausage on our pizza, we want to cook it almost through and through, because it's really not gonna get enough of the cooking done in the oven, because the oven is so hot, it may not reach all the pieces of the sausage. So what I do is a little pre-cooking. So the fastest way to do it is I take my knife, I take the skin and make a slit through the skin, and then I just throw this in the pan. This is sweet Italian sausage. A little olive oil in that pan makes it so it doesn't stick. I'm gonna stir that, and it's already starting to cook. So while this is cooking, I'm gonna get my mushrooms ready. I'm gonna gently wash my mushrooms. I'm gonna slice these really thin, or even little pieces. And the reason is, I want the mushrooms to cook in the heat of that hot oven. I don't want too many because the mushrooms will leak water all over my pizza. So a little bit of mushroom goes a long way in a pizza. If you wanted a huge quantity of mushrooms, I would suggest you fry them. But this is faster and quicker, so that's all I'm gonna do. Let's stir this. That's been cooking about 60 seconds to 2 minutes. That's really all you need. Just make it so you don't see the pink anymore and you're fine. It'll finish cooking in that oven. So I'm turning that off now. It's good. So I need to transfer my pizza dough onto my palette. So what I do is I sprinkle my cornmeal because I want to have little ball bearings so it rolls off easily into my oven. So that's just great. Now I grab this, put it there. Nice and thin, I like that. Okay, so let's dress it. So I'm gonna spread on 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce first on my pizza dough that's rolled out. On goes the cheese. I like a lot of cheese on it. This is gonna be a really luscious pizza with the sausage and the mushrooms and extra cheese the way I like it. Here go the mushrooms all over it. And the finishing touch, my sausage. That is going to finish cooking in the oven. Now, the grease, okay, it's got flavor. I am not afraid of that. I am pouring that on. It's trickling down. Now, that's gonna give it some extra lusciousness. Here is extra olive oil, just for the richness of this pizza. You can omit this step too, but I like it like that. So here we go, into the oven, 450 degrees, onto my pizza stone. If it was just a plain cheese pizza, I would put it in for 8 minutes at 450. But when it has all that extra stuff, it's a little more thickness, so it takes a little longer to cook. So we'll come back in 10 minutes and see if it's ready. And subscribe to my channel because I do all kinds of things in the kitchen and it's really a lot of fun. And let me know what you think. Give me some comments, I'll write you back. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. See how that just slides onto this pizza palette? That's perfect. Okay. Oh, you know what? That's gonna be so hot. That's hot. Now that's a mushroom and sausage pizza. That is truly delicious. And look at that crust. Is that perfect or what? So subscribe to my channel. And let's get cooking together. Yummy. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand. Let's make pizza. I'm gonna make a bacon blue cheese tomato pizza. White pizza. I'm not gonna use any tomato sauce for this recipe. I take my handful of my dough, I'm gonna stretch it and lay it on this breadboard and roll it out. And then I'm gonna put both sides like that. Take my rolling pin, dust it. I want it really thin. Kind of fun. Put a lot of elbow grease into it. So a secret of having your dough roll off really nicely into your oven or your pizza stone, your pan, whatever, is to put some cornmeal on your transfer board. I'm going to dress my pizza on this thing. I want my oven preheated to 450 degrees. So that's gonna start. I'm gonna put my pizza stone in. So the first ingredient I'm gonna use is crumbled blue cheese. That's about 3/4 cup. The blue cheese has so much salt in it, I'm not going to add any salt to this pizza. And so does the bacon. So I'm going to have 4 pieces of bacon and chop the bacon up. Just a rough chop is fine. Now I want my tomato on there. So I'm going to slice it super thin. And you know what, just for simplicity in eating it, I'm going to chop it into little pieces. The reason I put the tomato on the top of it is it has a lot of liquid on it. And that liquid is going to kind of evaporate in that really hot oven. It's almost like the bacon and the cheese hold those pieces of tomato up so they get more air circulating around them. There. Another reason why it's good to cook that bacon first is because it's going to grab a little moisture from those wet tomatoes. Okay, let's get that in the oven. 450 degrees on that pizza stone for 8 minutes. And they'll be ready. It's been 8 minutes, let's check. It is perfect. What color? So we gotta get it on this side. There we go. Okay, let's cut it. Oh, hear that crunch? I can smell that blue cheese and that bacon. So subscribe to my channel and you'll get more recipes like this. Here we have the bacon blue cheese tomato pizza. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. This is an original recipe of mine. I come up with them every so often. So watch my channel and click subscribe. Bon appetit. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand. Today we're going to fry up some bacon. I want my pan really hot when I put in that bacon, so I'm turning this on high. I like a really wide diameter pan because these slices of bacon are long. You can use any bacon you get, any kind you like. Whatever's on sale is usually my favorite. So you pull them apart and you lay them across the pan. I have a trick. See the side with the more meat? Now that doesn't need to cook as long as the side with the fat. So when I want to get a ton of bacon in one pan, I will overlay the meat side onto the fat side of the other piece. Now it's going to shrink anyways, but that makes me get maybe a couple extra slices in the pan. I like to do a full package because bacon you can always reuse for salads and all kinds of side dishes, toppings, and everything. So I just lay that down. I want to turn this bacon down now to medium because I don't want it to burn now that that pan is hot. Now this is going to take about 5 minutes, but you know what? You kind of have to babysit bacon to get the perfect crispiness and to turn it at the perfect time. So we're not going to go too far away from this pan. So as you're flipping them, you kind of pull them apart from each other. I use a spatula to turn them, because it just helps me from getting them to not stick on that pan. You turn it when it starts to kind of crimple in the middle. I make room on the whole pan after it turns for every little piece because it's all shriveling down there. I like to just drain it on a paper towel. If I'm making a big breakfast, I put my oven on 200 degrees and I get my bacon out on this plate and I stick it in there at 200 degrees to keep it warm. Because that way, when my pancakes and my eggs are ready, I just grab that bacon and throw it on the table. I start taking them out when they start to look crispy. As I'm babysitting it, I'm seeing it's not cooking as fast as I'd like it to. So since I'm so close to it, I'm going to turn this heat up a little bit. I like to cook fast, and if you're really tending it, you can feel safe to turn that heat up. I like the way that one looks. That one's done. Now you can tell it's about done cooking when it doesn't sizzle as much anymore, and it's not, so they're getting really done now. Be careful from the splatters. Keep your face away. It'll get ya. If you don't turn that pan down and you walk away and forget about it, your kitchen will be in flames. Be very, very careful of this grease. That is one of the biggest kitchen hazards, is bacon catching on fire. So careful. Let's try the bacon. That is crispy and chewy at the same time, and really delicious. Bon appetit. If you want to make any of the recipes you saw on my show today, I've posted them all on YouTube. I'm going to show you how to find them so you can jot the recipes down and make it at your own house. So you got to get to a computer, you press your website browser, go to your address bar, and you type in www.youtube.com. Enter. Then YouTube's going to have its own little search bar. So in that search bar, you type in Rebecca Brand Recipes. You hit enter on your keyboard, and then you're going to get my page. So my page is going to come up, and then you want to search for the recipe you saw on the show. So you go into this little black thing. It's a black search bar. It's like you can never see it, so let me show you where it is. And in that bar, you type in what you saw. Let's say you saw a chicken recipe. So if you type in chicken and you press return, you're going to get all my chicken dishes, and then you can just click on whatever chicken you want. It's as simple as that. So start watching the video, and in it comes the recipe. So you click pause, and that's it. Get your pencil and paper together, start writing. Those are the ingredients, and they're exactly what I make on camera. For the techniques, you might want to watch it again. But bon appetit, happy cooking, and I'd love to know how it turns out. Cheers.